Hello, hello! A year has passed and I've gone from 500 subs to 1,000 subs, so you know what time it is time for another Q&A. Alright, we'll start most recent first and head to the very first question on my Q&A post. Alright, so question number 1 is from Reese Davies-U7J, and the question is, can we have chili for tea? Now, I happen to know who Reese Davies is. Reese Davies is my lodger, and I guess we'll have to check in with past me in terms of whether we're having chili for tea. What's up? It's your boy Matt Jadaway here, and I'm going to show you how to make my signature chili in a very abridged way. I lost my hair and this beard just happens. Anyway, I'll show you how to get going. First step of any cooking, make sure you're organised. Set out everything that you need in the appropriate places and make sure that any lying about dishes are cleaned up. I know it's simple, but it's worth noting. Right, let's go through what I'm going to be putting into the mix. So, we have cayenne chili, we have ground sweet cinnamon, chipotle paste, pepper and its companion salt, Worcestershire sauce, some coffee, mustard seeds, cumin seeds, coriander seeds, and these last four, these are all getting ground together in the pestle and mortar. So here we are, we have around a teaspoon's worth of mustard seeds, 1.5-ish tablespoons of cumin seeds, 1 tablespoon of coriander seeds, and 1.5 teaspoons of coffee grinds. I use dough eggblets, but really all that matters is coffee at the end of the day. And watch this, boys. I'm going to pestle and mortar this one-handed, totally skilled. And look at that, no cuts. Obviously, I did all of this one-handed. There was never any time dilation, never anything like that. And as you can see, it's perfectly ground up. No, for real though, it doesn't need to be perfectly ground up. Ultimately, the boiling process will soften out anything that's too harsh. But yes, let's add this to the spice mix. Alright, and now it has magically become a paste. This is a teaspoon of chipotle, a teaspoon of sweet cinnamon, a heaped teaspoon of cayenne chili, teaspoon of black pepper, teaspoon of salt, and enough Worcestershire sauce to make it into a slightly moist paste. But as you can see, we're not looking at something that is too wet. We're looking at a fairly dry thing, because this is going to be added after mince has started properly going and the moisture has come out of the meat. Oh, it smells sharp, Oh yeah, and the coffee gives it a bit of a sort of groundy, sort of like an underlying kind of mellowing bitterness. It sounds odd, but when it mingles with the acidity and the sweetness of the tomatoes, when it mingles with the heat of the chili, it acts as a sort of neutralizing flavour, if anything, which is odd. You wouldn't think that of bitter, but yeah, it's a thing. Oh yeah. Next up, let's prepare the vegetables whose blended remains will become the broth of this thing. Okay, so the main thing that is going to get any sort of cutting around is going to be these things. Fresh vine-ripened tomatoes. Now you don't have to get them fresh, you can just get the tinned stuff and that'll be liquidy all on its own. But I recommend trying it fresh. Your taste buds will thank you. Now I diced these things using my psychic powers, but you will have to use a knife like anyone else. Then after that, it's time to put it all in the blender. Looks like it needs another go, but we also need to add some tomato puree. I swear I can do things one-handed. But yeah, so tomato puree, adding a little bit just adds a little bit of extra kind of aged sweetness to the whole thing. And yeah, let's get it back on the blend. And yeah, that's looking much better. There'll always be little bits of skin and what have you, unless you decide to blanch the tomatoes beforehand, but I've never needed to blanch tomatoes for a chili. It's fine. I'm sure people can live with a bit of tomato skin texture. Next are the other veggies that are going to be part of this broth. So there are various chilies. There's a yellow bell pepper, a red bell pepper, a whole onion, and I'll be using 6 garlic cloves from this bulb of garlic. Alright, and here's what the veggies look like ahead of time. So, we've halved the onion, we've taken the tops off the peppers and cored them, or taken out their hearts. The chilies, meanwhile, they just have the tops taken off, but you can see all of the seeds and what have you, those are staying because there's a good amount of heat in there. That's why we only need a teaspoon of cayenne. We don't need a lot because a lot of the heat will be just in these chilies. And we have 6 nice sized garlic cloves. And then all of these are going to be coated in olive oil, salt and pepper, and then roasted. And I will show you what they look like post oil slathering. Remember with seasoning, it's fine to be a little bit on the generous side, especially when it comes to stuff like salt and peppering vegetables, because a lot of the juices will kind of run out as it roasts and you'll lose a good amount of the salt and pepper. So you be generous and bet on at least some of it staying. And in case you lack precognition, you also needed to have preheated the oven to around 150 degrees centigrade, or a little bit higher if you don't have a fan oven. And then the first ones that we want to put in are the peppers and the onion. When it comes to the garlic and the chilies, they go in later, but for the time being what you do is you roast these big lads for 15 minutes. And hey, if you're just waiting around, if you haven't got anything better to do while you're waiting for those 15 minutes, you may as well wash up what you've used so far. It's a little step, but it just makes things more efficient. And would you look at that, 15 minutes of roasting. It's not looking too toasty right now, but there's a little bit of wrinkling and what have you in the peppers. But what we need to do now is we need to flip it over and add these vegetables here. And look at that, isn't it beautiful? Yep, here we are. So these are now all turned over and added in the case of the smaller vegetables, and now I'll be putting it in for another 15 minutes. While we're waiting, Nico, hello. Yeah. Oh, look at that. It's you. Yeah. And here we are, look at this. We now have everything roasted. The bigger ones have been roasting for half an hour and the littler ones have been roasting for 15 minutes, but this is what they look like. And now it's time to put them all in a blender. And now that everything's stuffed it inside, let's give it a go. Well, hopefully that does it. And so now that the veggies which form the liquid of the broth are blended, now it's time to heat up some oil. Now you can use sunflower oil, but I personally use this Borderlands cold pressed British rapeseed oil. Rapeseed oil is slightly nutty, but it overall has the same kind of qualities as sunflower oil in terms of it gets hot relatively fast, it tends to coat meat well, and that is precisely what we need to do because we're cooking up 1 kilo of mince. That's because I'm feeding 3 people, myself included, and also leaving some extra to, stay in the fridge to be reheated later. So I'm making a big batch of the stuff. But yes, So what we'll need to do is we'll need to salt and pepper this mince while the oil is heating up, and then after that it's a simple fry. And here we go, let's hear this bad boy sing. So here you can see we've got it partially fried at this point. And yeah, when I'm frying chicken I normally do it in batches so that we get like a little bit of browning. When it comes to batch cooking mince, I tend to just do it all at once and fry it to grey rather than brown. I know that browning is probably what I should be doing, but it is a little bit tedious, and I only really like to do it when it's like stuff that I have whole pieces of, so like pieces of beef or pieces of chicken. When it's mince, it's a little bit harder to do, but nevertheless, ultimately it's going into a stew. It turns out alright. Alrighty, now that everything is fried to at least grey, we can now add the veggie broth. So in it goes. Yeah boy. Yeah boy. Alrighty. So let's get all that together. Okay. And this is also the point where we add the spice mix. So 1 second. Now I really should have put this on the meat before adding the veggie broth, but at the end of the day, not the end of the world. All the flavours end up mingling together, making friends. But yes, you can see there's still a little bit of veggie chunkage, there's a little bit of this, that and the other, but we are now at a point where the meat is well seasoned and surrounded by blended veggies, and you don't need to add any water, like at all. All of the moisture that's in here is from either the meat or the vegetables that I've just blended. Seriously, there's more moisture in things than you expect, so just, like, don't think you have to add water. Now the next part of this is going to be, let's put this to the side, so we'll be adding some stock cubes, some pickled jalapenos, bay leaves, like 1 bay leaf, some brown sugar and some kidney beans, along with some black beans. So I'm going extra beany with this particular batch, and I'll show you what it looks like once all of that is added. And here we are with all of the extra bells and whistles added. At this point it's time to preheat your oven, provided you're cooking in something like this Dutch oven. It's time to preheat your oven, and while it's heating up and this is simmering down, you can wash up whatever it is you've used. I know I've got a few things to wash up here. After that it'll be time for the pre-oven taste test. Alright, so very simple, just take yourself a teaspoon. Okay. And let's have a taste. Okay. I think needs a dash more. A dash more cinnamon and possibly a little more salt or stock. Well, we'll see. Part of an underrated part of cooking is being able to taste test. Being able to taste test and being able to think about what it is that you're eating and going, well, what do I have in my power to be able to adjust this? I think there's enough brown sugar in this. I think that, this could do with a little bit of extra savoury and a little bit of extra complexity in the form of ground cinnamon. Maybe I could put in a cinnamon stick to mature over the thing, or at least. Okay, no I can't, I don't have any cinnamon sticks left. At this point, basically just stick the thing in the oven, let it mature, check every hour, give it a stir, and then taste test again. Taste test over every hour, and the more hours you spend, the better it'll be. Alright, so in the end the adjustments I made was another teaspoon of chipotle, another teaspoon of sweet cinnamon, a good dash a few of Worcestershire sauce, and a little bit more salt and pepper. Now let's give it a go. Let's have a taste. Oh, much better. much better. Oh yeah, I also added a little bit of paprika too. If you want to give your chili a little bit of an extra smoky edge, smokier than what Chipotle can give you, smoked paprika is always a good way to do it. And with that, this bad boy's going in the oven. So the oven is currently set to around 70 degrees centigrade, and yeah, you just stick it in and then hour by hour, stir it, check it, make sure that it tastes alright, and make some adjustments if you know what you need to do. And yeah, that's it. Mature for as long as possible and you'll get a delicious chili, best served with cheese and rice. And this is how it looks in the end. Yeah. And it would appear that Past Me has confirmed that we are indeed having chili for tea. Alright, moving on to some other questions. Alright, okay. Underscore grad asks, seeing how you're producing a video about Swirl or Scarlet Weather Rhapsody, a question about the spin-offs. What would you like to see in the next decimal entry in the series, being Toho? Also, unlimited bacon but no games, or unlimited games but no bacon? Okay, so for the first question, I think a scenario-based game similar to Shoot the Bullet or Violet Detector or Impossible Spell Card, you know, that kind of thing. I think that would be quite a cool one. Maybe given the themes that Violet Detector brought up, what we could do is something like a game where you play as Doremi and you're going around pacifying the angry dream selves. Maybe it's a little bit too similar to Violet Detector, but I think that playable Doremi in a shooter form would be an interesting concept. I imagine she could do stuff like, I don't know, maybe erase sections of the thing using her dream bubble things or something. You know, there's potential there. And in terms of the unlimited bacon versus no games or unlimited games versus no bacon, it is no contest, because right now I am actually trying to lose weight. I want to be slightly less of a fat bastard, and as a result, that means I'm happy to give up bacon, as tough as it is, because I love my games. And my YouTube videos are primarily about games. I'm not going to go without games. No amount of bacon can tempt me on that one. Alright, okay. Next question. So, Amazon Packaged Newt asks, when are we gonna get a buff Reimu cosplay? And funnily enough, the previous answer kind of leads into this. So, I aim to lose some weight. I aim to gain a bit more upper body strength. Like, I have plenty of like lower body strength, and my legs are fairly muscular because I walk to work and my work is about an hour's walk away. You know, I'm building, so like I've got hiker's legs, I've got muscles in my legs, but I haven't really got muscles in the upper body. So the plan is going to be lose some weight, maybe get a little bit buff, and then I can pull off a Reimu cosplay, because right now I have a pot belly and I look absolutely fucking hideous with a Reimu cosplay, you know, where most of Reimu's outfits expose her midriff to some extent, and yeah, you don't want to be doing that with me right now. Okay, next question. Maria Takaroma 3900 says, good to see you go up some, glad to see you go up some. Toho videos are peak. So not really a question, but thank you for the support, Maria. It is appreciated. Yeah. Honestly, I'm really grateful for the community that I have. Most of you guys in the comments are really like just chill people. You're the kind of people that I'd want as a fan base. I'm not just saying that just because it's the 1,000 sub video, but like genuinely, like you guys, you're good folk. And I mean, maybe if I got bigger, like I'd end up getting a toxic fan base. So maybe being a small YouTuber is where I belong. Anyway, so thank you, Maria, even if that wasn't a question. Okay, so Hoha 5018 asks, do you play Toho fan games? If you play them, what are your favourite Toho fan games? And being real, I don't play enough Toho fan games. I played Tohomon as a mod of Pokemon Fire Red like donkeys years ago, but for the most part I play the official games and I play the official spin-offs. But I tend to have a main focus on the main games. You know, I do like the spin-offs, but I think the main games are where I'm at with me. Yes, so unfortunately for you, yeah, I don't play the spin-offs as much as maybe you'd like. Not the spin-offs, fan games even. Alright, okay, so Space Elk asks, out of all the Toho game cover art, which would you want to eat the most? And this is a fucking insane question, but it's got the right energy for me. So I'm picking up what you're putting down. So I actually, in preparation for this, I looked through the different cover art, and of the cover art, the two most edible that I can see are Imperishable Nights, which looks like Black Forest Gateau, and Shoot the Bullet, which looks like Millionaire's Shortbread. And then between the two, Black Forest Gateau easily. Like, Millionaire's Shortbread is nice and all, but oh, nothing beats a good Black Forest Gateau. Right, okay, on to the next question. Kalia the Art Slime asks, unbelievable that you're only at 1,000 subs. Anyway, simple question, what are your favourite desserts to make and to order? So, while past me showed that I'm quite fond of making savouries and stews in particular, truth is, I suck dick at making desserts. So, I mean, the last time I made proper desserts were probably in food tech back in secondary school. There was this one called Mars bar slices, which are essentially melting Mars bars, putting it and butter. Like, so you melt butter in with 4 Mars bars and then you cover Rice Krispies in them. You then take them, set them, like, you know, flat them on a baking tray, you set them in the fridge, then you melt chocolate and you put more on top of it and set it again. You have these chocolate topped Mars bar slices, absolute heart attacks in slice form. Those are probably the best of desserts I've made. I mean, like, I can make a flapjack, I can make a cheesecake if I really wanted to, but I suck at it. I wouldn't be able to make something that's presentable, really. Edible, but not presentable. As for what I like to eat, sticky toffee pudding with double cream, that's always a good one. Cheesecake, always a nice one. And as I mentioned, Black Forest Gateau. Black Forest Gateau is delicious. Anything where you've got like fruit and cream, oh yeah, you're getting some nice stuff there. Alright, okay. Next question. Toyotata Mimi no Miko -Z8T says, what does the J in Matt J Doe mean? Also, since you're a writer, what is your favourite trope? And the J stands for Jerona! And also my surname, Dave, is actually an acronym and it stands for They're Eating My Flesh! For real though, like, my first name's Matthew, named after, I was raised Jovo, and named after Matthew, the Apostle Matthew, you know, from the Bible, and my middle name is also biblical, also an apostle, so that limits it down to John, James and Judas, and you can figure it out from there. But yes, yeah, Matt Judas Doe. Yeah. No, it's not Judas. no Jehovah's Witness would name any of their kids Judas, I assure you. Yeah. It's odd given that Judas was ultimately fulfilling the prophetic role, but he still gets saved. Yeah. Hey, I don't do the religion thing anymore. I'll leave weighing into the religious thing. As for being, you know, as a writer, what my favourite kinds of tropes are. So I like little things, I would say. So not even strictly tropes necessarily, but like, so I guess one trope would be nice to the waiter, would be an example of what I'm talking about here. So nice to the waiter, what it does is it shows what a person is like when they're not obligated to be nice to anyone. You know, they're not obligated to be nice to this person who is paid to be subservient to them, to not question them, to be customer is always righty with them, you know. And if a person chooses to be nice to the waiter and courteous and account for their needs anyway, it shows that they're a decent person when the lights off. And similarly, what you are in the dark, similar thing. When there's nothing to prove, when there's no witnesses, you still do the right thing. You know, it shows character. And the inverse, you know, if someone who is outwardly good, when there's no one there, when they're in the dark, they do something selfish or sadistic, you know, it indicates character. And so, a little example of what I'm going to be doing for my 10th book, which is still in planning phase. I haven't actually started writing it yet because I'm a lazy fuck. I have a plan for the prologue, and there's going to be a religious man who's taking someone's confession, and then his superior priest, after he's done with the confession, asks him, "Hey, so what was that all about?" It's a little thing, and like, sure, the parishioner didn't see, him asking what the confession was, but the fact is, the superior father asked his subordinate what their confession was. Deeply unprofessional, deeply, not what a priest should do when it comes to confessional. The confessional is between the priest that takes it and the parishioner who is confessing. And yeah, it's a little thing. It's not necessarily something which is like, I'm a big evil guy, but it does show this is someone who is not the best person. I like stuff like that. Little things that indicate character. Alright, okay. Next one. Okay, Stillwater_Crashout asks, congrats! Obligatory, extremely cliche question. What's the direction you want to take your channel, and what do you see yourself uploading in the future? Also, this came to me while writing, but what to her character do you want to see become playable? So I kind of said that while we have had Doremi being playable in 15.5, it would be nice to see Doremi in a scenario-style game, dealing with, dream cells rampaging maybe, or, maybe something else. But, yeah, I think that top, vertical shoot-em-up Doremi would be quite nice. Also, like, seeing Ran in a non-POFE role would also be fairly cool, I think. Also, because we haven't seen her in a while, show! What if, say, in Toho 21, we have, say, Reimu and Marissa, the standard players, and then a couple of representatives from the Buddhist and Taoist faction. So you'd have Sho representing the Buddhists and Mononobe and Futo representing the Taoists, maybe. So as for what I want to do with the channel, so obviously one future video is going to be the bosses. So I did rank all the stages, so at some point do a huge fuck off video which is going to rank all the bosses. That's inevitable. The Scarlet Weather Rhapsody video is coming, so I'll be ranking just how entertaining I find all of the stories. I'll be doing some smaller game reviews. I might do a review of Haste, because I really found myself liking Haste. May do a review of Haste. May do like other small like indie titles. And when Deltarune is finally done, when the final chapter comes out, when chapter 7 comes out, I want to do a review of Deltarune as it is in its entirety, because right now it's all theory videos, it's all speculation, it's all people who, frankly, they don't seem to like Deltarune as a game, being candid. That's a bit harsh, not every Delta tuber is like that, but a lot of Delta tubers basically see each new chapter as just a glorified Wikipedia summary with a bunch of data points for them to make their new theories. They're not really, they're not really engaging with the game as a cohesive story that is being told by someone. They think, oh, it's all just an ARG with a bunch of data points, and I just need to come up with theories, and just a chapter drop is just them having an opportunity to wring a whole bunch of content out of it, and that's just bullshit. I want to review Deltarune as a game. It's a full game. I like it. I like it a lot right now, but I don't think I can release a Deltarune review right now without being infested with lore heads and theorists and people expecting me to become a fucking Deltarune theorist if they see my review, like it and subscribe. You know, and that's just not what I want the channel to be. I don't want to be the glorified fanfiction writer who uses the word theory as an algorithm baiting thing. You know, that's just not me. That's not what I do here. But yeah, thank you for the question, Silverwater Crash Out. We got things falling apart here. Okay, things might be a little bit out of order now, but as long as the last one is okay. Anyway, so Pachirisu _2014 asks, which Toho spell card do you think is the hardest to capture? Now that's an interesting one, because anyone who's seen my my stages video now understands where I'm coming from as a normal Modo scrub. Truth is, I'm a pragmatic son of a bitch. There are certain spell cards that I just don't try to capture. You know, just like I play with resources in mind, and to me, resources are there to be used. And so, if there is something that's hard, I typically will just bomb without thinking about it. But of course, there are some spell cards where you can't bomb through. You know, extra boss ones are a typical example, because bombing is usually completely ineffective as a skipping tool. At best, it's a clearing tool. But you know, your bombs don't do damage to extra bosses. So, extra is an example. But another example is Imperishable Night last spells. And to me, the hardest last spell is one of Kaguya's time-based spells. You know, the ones where if you get hit by them, you move forward an hour. If you capture it, you keep time, and it's basically just there to see how much bonus time can you hold on to for the time bonus at the end. And obviously you can get further in and get more tries if you've captured the previous last spells. Anyway, the hardest last spell from that one that I think is End of Imperishable Night, 1:30. The one where it's very fast, somewhat loose, crisscrosses, and you have to, as it drags you down, you have to at some point cross the streams. And crossing the streams is hard as balls when you don't have the option to bomb. So that one is probably the hardest, because it's one where you have to try and capture, unlike the one where a bomb through, and it's hard as fuck. Of course, I'm coming at this from a normal perspective. Okay, good old Plasma Kitten 4261 asks, which is your favourite last spell of a game? Or I guess a few favourites. No just saying Resurrection Butterfly and moving on, even if that's true, it's a cop-out. And hey, Resurrection Butterfly is good. Even Nin liked the presentation of Resurrection Butterfly, because PCB is the only game she's played. Funnily enough though, Resurrection Butterfly isn't my favourite. My favourite is once again from Imperishable Night. It is Horai Elixir. Horai Elixir is so fucking good. I love Horai Elixir. Primarily because, well, Resurrection Butterfly is basically doing the same thing over and over again, just slightly denser. You know, the tension's there, the music is there, it's, you know, terrifying, but Horai Elixir also has its own theme, and it builds up over time. It starts fairly simple, but then it forces you, you know, it gives the laser, like, outlines, but it doesn't force you to go through them yet, and then it builds and builds and builds, and then you get the spinny part where you have to go through the laser like skeleton, and it's fantastic. I absolutely love Horai Elixir, and yeah, I prefer it to a Resurrection Butterfly, as goated as a Resurrection Butterfly is. Yeah, well, another honourable mention is Hell's Artificial Sun. That's really fucking good. I love Hell's Artificial Sun. The dragging towards the sun getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Oh, it's fantastic. Also, Okina's subshot stealing one. I don't remember the name of it off by heart, but that one where it steals whatever it is you used as a subshot, that's really fucking good. What a great fucking bit. Right. Okay. User Q03LJ30D6E. Totally not artificially assigned name, that one. Asks, what's your favourite character in each Toho game? Favourite spell cards? Favourite Deltarune tanks of each secret boss? That's a lot of questions. Okay, so let's go through each game and each favourite character. So, Sariel, I like just depictions of angels in Japanese games. They usually make them a bit more eldritch than we Westerners do. Meira, because of the entire exchange between her and Reimu, where like Reimu thinks that Meira wants to marry her, and Meira just wants to take her power. PODD, Kotohime, because she's a weird, insane princess who thinks she's a cop. It's just dumb. It's dumb and funny. I like her. LLS, Yuka. I like Yuka. She appears as a boss twice. She arguably appears as the extra mid-boss. And she's kick-ass, and like, while her playable appearance in MS is not my favourite, the fact is she was significant enough to appear as a playable character in MS, also significant enough to appear in Seiho, and also significant enough to come back in POFD. All in all, Yuka stands out and was reused several times for good reason. MS, you'd be surprised, is not Alice, it's Mai. And I like Mai because she's a dick. Like, if you beat Yuki first, like, the thing is, I find solo Yuki harder than solo Mai. But Mai has the fucking gall, if you defeat Yuki first, to be like, oh, well, I'm glad the dead weight's gone. Fucking bitch, what the hell, Mai? But yeah, I love Mai because of that. Right, Patchily for EOSD. Ran for PCB, I think I mentioned before that I like Ran a lot. Moko for Imperishable Knight. I love her gimmick with the like dying every spell card, is very funny. Kamachi in POFD. Primarily, she's a character which I've grown more fond of as I've grown older. When you get older, when you start to slack on the job a little bit, the whole, oh hey, aren't you supposed to be working? Oh, so I am! Yeah, been there, Kamachi, been there. Toho 10, Sane, I love her spell cards, and I like the fact that she's introduced as a rival to Reimu. Subterranean Animism, Koichi. Koichi is great, we love Koichi. She's no thoughts, head empty, and yeah, we love her in this house. Along with the fact that she steals the Mask of Hope, she's unwittingly significant in Toho 13.5, which is really cool. UFO, Kagasa, I think I've already mentioned how I like Kagasa. I like her surprise gimmick. I like that it's reflective of like an umbrella going and I like that she wants to be Mary Poppins in the out-of-game lore. 10 Desires, Sega. I just like Sega because, well, she's such an evil dickhead that Miko doesn't want to be publicly associated with her. Just like, oh my god, what has this person done? And you're like, she is, and I mean, like, as someone pointed out in the Stages video, Yang Xiaogi is dead babies. So one of her spell cards involves animating dead babies. She's just the worst. And I love characters who are just the worst. Okay, anyway, Toho 14, Seija. Toho 15 is a toss-up between Clown Piece and Acacia. Both of them are amazing. I love how insane their designs are. Toho 16, Okina. Mainly because Okina does the whole 4 seasons thing in her final boss form, and she gets to be an extra boss, which is great. And I love the gimmick of her extra boss too, where it's all about like going into weird positions. Yeah, all in all, a boss that shows up twice and has great gimmicks on both. What's not to love? And furthermore, she's the final boss of Yuma's mode in bloody in Sunken Fossil World. So yeah, absolutely great. She's like, every appearance she's had as a boss, she's been good, in my opinion. Okay, 17, Yachiya Kicho. I just like how slimy she is. She's a slimy Mafia boss, and we need more slimy Mafia bosses. Mafia bosses aren't necessarily badass, are they? They're slimy. Ultimately, they're the sorts of people which don't mind living large off the hard work of people like exploiting and ruining their lives off. Mafioso aren't cool. They're horrid. I try to do that with how I depict Mafioso, or should I say Bratva, in the books. And yeah, I like that Yachiya is an inglorious even depiction of Mafioso and what have you. Okay, and Toho 18 Tsukasa, because she's the recurrent mid-boss thing, and the fact that once again, like Yachiya, she's just a slime ball, and it's great. Toho 19 Hisami. I mean, she's the first canonically romantically interested person in a character. She's a disaster lesbian. She's absolutely just toxic and weird in a hilarious way. Yeah, I like Hisami. I don't particularly like Yodoal, but I like Hisami a lot. And then Toho 20, Nina Watari for being the AI slot waifu. Absolutely great, absolutely topical. We love Nina in this house. And then, as for spell cards, that was a long one, wasn't it? So after that, spell cards, I love line-shaped sculpting art, the sort of crisscross laser one by Keiki. I like Hell and Heaven Meltdown from Utsuho, the one with the 2 permanent star ones, with the rotating, with the kind of like open, sorry, it's not the rotating one, it's the one where it pulses out, so 2 big ones, pulses out, and you just sort of like, it's a good thing Utsuho moves about, because like there's no way you'd be able to stay in the center slot. It is really like intense and like with blinding brightness. It's fantastic. Suppression, Superego, and Instinct Release of the Id. Those 2 spell cards from Koichi are both amazing. I love the theming, like Instinct Release of the Id. Out it goes, red pulsing out of her. And then Suppression, Superego is, bringing it all back in. And similarly, Returning Bridge Ichijo by EXK, similar thing. I like the whole ones where bullets are spawning at the edge and being drawn in. I like that shit a lot. And then for the Deltarune stuff, it says here, so Deltarune attacks of each secret boss. So, Jevel's multi-suit card themed attacks are the ones where there's just like exploding hearts here, diamonds going in sort of cones, club dots going in cones, spades being thrown here, there, and everywhere. I like Jevel's multi-suit one a lot, and also it's just, I think it's more thematically appropriate given he's a Joker card, right? And then Spamton's heart-themed attack, so the one where he just shoots shoots a heart for the first one, and then shoots multiple hearts for the second one, and I like that you get extra mercy if you shoot it down. I love that one a lot. Then the Knight is the Starstorm variant, so the one where first shoots out a bunch of ice and it explodes into little pieces, then it explodes into slightly less dense pieces, but they then readjust and home in on you. And I mean, similarly, the Starstorm thing is also reincorporated into the big finale attack as well, which obviously takes a lot of inspiration from Earthbound PK Star Song, you know. I love the Roaring Knights roar sound effect too. It's like, oh, fantastic stuff, fantastic sound design on that one, maybe. As if Deltarune doesn't have good sound design overall, anyway. Okay, Gerson's Hammer Row Gauntlet one, I like that one really good. The one where he knocks the bullet board like diagonally and then does a bunch of Hammer Bro throws. That one's fucking fantastic, really cool. And for Pink, the one where the Ghost Half is throwing a tantrum and knocking the bullet board over, whereas the Darkner body is on top of it and going, that one is fantastic. Love that one to pieces. That was a long answer, wasn't it? Right, okay. Galaxy Gamer 102 asks, well, best Toho game was in the last Q&A. So, which one do you think is the worst? And this one's easy. PODD, Phantasmagoria, the Dimensional Dream. I already don't particularly like the Twinkle Star Sprites ones, and you know, like POFE and Udawal, but even worse when it's on an emulator where I can't get a second controller working. I can't force an unsuspecting person to play with me, even if I wanted to, and the single player mode just isn't enough to carry. Whereas highly responsive to prayers, even if it's janky as hell, there is a good single player game there. But yeah, PODD definitely is one of those where it's probably better as a multiplayer game, because like I've played POFD and Udawal multiplayer and that is fun. But yeah, as a single player game, it doesn't really hold up. So yeah, PODD, worst one to me. And good old Radel0505 says, congrats, your last Q&A feels like it was yesterday. What fandoms are you into that aren't Toho, Undertale, Deltarune or Sonic? And so, the OG Rayman trilogy, so Raymans 1, 2 and 3, absolutely love those. I'm torn between Rayman 2 and 3 being my favourite. Rayman 3 has better combat by far, like way more meaningful than Rayman 2. Rayman 2 is kind of just stop and wait, but Rayman 2 has some unparalleled atmosphere going on. And the pirates are a genuinely menacing threat. I really like Rayman 2 for that. I think Rayman 3 is probably the better game. Like sometimes it gets a bit early 2000s in its humour, you know what I mean? Like everything's meta, everything's snarky, nothing's quite committed to. But I mean, it still has its good moments. I love the funky board sections. I love the final boss. The final boss is an absolute gauntlet in Rayman 3. I mean, Rayman 2, the Grolgoth is also like the only meaningfully challenging boss. But yeah, I love the OG Rayman trilogy. Mother and Earthbound are a big one. Fun fact, I was considering, but I thought better of it, doing a walkthrough of Mother 3, where I go through kind of the more secret and obscure interactions, which give like little hints as to the world building of Mother 3 world. You know, and I would have had a screenshot which would be huge Mother 3 fan is excited to play it for the millionth time. You know, in a nod to that old meme of huge Earthbound fan excited to play it for the first time. So the Persona games, I'm not a huge enough Persona fan to have played the old ones. I am Persona 3 FES, Persona 4 Golden, Persona 5 Royal, those are the three that I played. But I love the hell out of all of them. And I'm a low-key defender of the Persona 3 FES, you know, you just give the party directions and they do their own thing. I'm a low-key defender of that because it's funny in its own way. It leads to funny moments and it forces you to get a little bit creative in terms of you have to coax rather than you have to just directly say. Because directly saying, I mean, you see how like ridiculously overpowered you get in Persona 4 and Persona 5. You know, by one having full control, but also the ridiculous shit you can do with fusion and just traits and all that shit. So like Persona 3 FES feels like the only game out of those three where you don't feel like you're getting ridiculously overpowered by the end. Okay. Ace Attorney, love Ace Attorney, so played through the original trilogy, played through Apollo Justice. Haven't played the newer ones like Dual Destinies or what have you, or the Edgeworth ones, but I like the original trilogy and Apollo Justice. They're both like really good games. A few of the DS waggle features in Apollo Justice I could do without, but no, all in all, it's alright. And Rise from the Ashes, same thing. Some of the DS waggle, you wasn't a fan of, but you know, it is what it is. Crash Bandicoot and Spyro. I was a PlayStation lad growing up, so yeah, Crash Bandicoot and Spyro. The original Halo trilogy I really like. I also like Halo Reach, but I prefer the original trilogy of Halo, Combat Evolved 2, 3. Those are really great games. Really like fantastic first-person shooters. Can't go wrong with them. I like playing Team Fortress 2 every now and then. And in terms of non-game fandoms, I was a big fan of Haruhi Suzumiya and Kyoto Animation stuff back in the day. Shame what happened with the bloody fire, but like, I mean, Haruhi Suzumiya season 3 was already behind. In a way, it's a good legacy to leave behind with Disappearance. I've got some of the Haruhi Suzumiya manga which goes past Disappearance. Haven't read the light novels, but I have got the mangas. And Death Note, The Amazing Digital Circus, Enna. Enna is a game now too, but I was there from the beginning with the web animations. I should say though that I'm not really someone who engages with the fandom side of these things. I don't like the fandoms in general because they tend to be toxic and weird. I like the media itself because frankly a lot of the fans seem like they haven't even watched the fucking things that they claim to be such big fans of. Don't want to be going around accusing them of being LARPers, but I know that. So I don't like engaging with the fandoms. Oftentimes fandoms are way too toxic, especially TADC. The Amazing Digital Circus. It's not the most subtle thing. I'm not going to say it's like Shakespeare is The Amazing Digital Circus, but it's a milestone for indie animation, and I thought it like mostly stuck the landing in the ending. But you still get these sons of bitches who are just like, oh, I want a season 2. No, fuck off. Stories should be allowed to end, guys. Come on. Let a story begin and end. That's how stories have been for a good long while. Why does everything have to be a bloody series or franchise now? Gooseworks had a story she wanted to tell and she told it. Get over it. I'm also interested to see what Knights of Guinevere is going to be like, but we'll see. Alright, last ones now. Okay, so Sergey PS asks, what is your credit card number, the 3 funny digits on the back, and their expiration month and year? And he also asked for the billing address. That's funny. Okay, so thankfully I know this one off by heart. So the long number is 0123 4567 89AB 89AB CDEF. And then the 3 funny digits on the back are 420 naturally, and the expiration date is the 13th month, March, in 2069. And as for the billing address, it is the Big Ass Whorehouse, which Joseph Astrak stayed at during his penis trip. As for the name on the card isn't necessarily my own. For some reason I decided to put it under the name of Candlejack, which shouldn't be that big of a deal.
I'm gonna need more rope.